बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। Assalamu alaikum. I am Abdul Hamid Sheikh. As usual, I am going to talk about water. Today I have selected the topic regarding the water, the desalination. As this kind of desalination plants, maybe you have very often listened about this in so many countries, especially in Middle East and Arabian countries, where you did not find any fresh water or any rivers or canals having the fresh water. Only they have the sea all around. So, and sea is the salty water. Nobody can use that salty water. That is why in these countries mostly there are a lot of desalination plants of big size, medium size and large size, and there are so many systems of desalination systems. Now, first of all, let us discuss about the desalination. What is desalination? I have already drawn some picture here on this board. This is a glass of fresh water. Here I just want to put some salt in it and then mix it well. This fresh water becomes salty water, and now we cannot use this water, or we cannot drink this water. The second figure I have drawn here is the same, the salty water. When the salt is already mixed in this water, the water becomes slime. In technical terms, we say it is slime water. It means containing lot of salts. This is slime water. Now the third figure I have drawn here, in which the salt is taken out from that water to make this water fresh just for drinking. And this system to take out the salt, we say this is desalination. It means here we are making slime. The water is being slime. In another term of this salty water, we say slime water. Now when here we are mixing the salt, here we are taking out the salt. So that is almost the reverse process. That is why we say this one is the desalination system. Means in the system in which we are taking out the salts. So this is actually the basic thing of desalination system. Now we will discuss in the big scale. First of all, this is the natural desalination. Natural desalination. In natural desalination, the system is being arranged by the God, by Almighty God. He is the great and he arranged everything to make the to take out the salt from the seawater. You know, in the seawater, when there are lot of you can say this is our sea here in the water. This is the water, seawater, and he made all the arrangement. Just like first of all, we will see that there is a sun. The sun is heating this water. When the sunlight fall on this water surface, and the surface, the very vast surface of the sea. So there are the plenty of water is being evaporated because of the heat, and this is some special properties of the sea, the water, that it even if it is a very less temperature, even then the water evaporate. Although the only things matter in this is the temperature. When temperature is getting high and high, the evaporation rate is increasing and increasing. But that in the winter season, we see in our household that when we wash out our clothes and fall it on the outside of the house, it's dry. Even the temperature is very low. Even then, the evaporation process is going on all the time. So that evaporation is going on the sea, and the water in the shape of in the vapors in the shape of clouds, all going around the earth. And another factor here, to move these clouds, God has created air. Although there are a lot of other purposes of air, but one of the purpose is here to move these clouds all around the surface of the earth. Wherever we need the rain, wherever God thinks the earth is required rain, he sent these clouds over that space, and there are a lot of other pressure and so many other things, and some resistance, and some type of collision of air into the from the different side of the air pressure. The 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 cloud start raining like this. So when this water comes down, this is not salty. This is the fresh water without any salt. As we have seen in the seawater. Seawater, there are a lot of salts, but after this process, vaporize, then go into some places, and then again fall down as rain. So the water comes here is the fresh water. Means having very less salts in this, and we can easily drink it. Only sometime we have to filter it and disinfect it. So many other, there are a lot of other things also, that is safety for the bacteria and so many things. But as the salt is concerned, there is no salt in this water. So this is our natural desalination system. In this desalination system, I would like to mention here one point regarding the properties of water. You know, there are a lot of solvents we have seen, just like water is also a solvent, and water is a very special type of solvent. We call it the universal solvent, as maybe I have discussed in my previous lectures. But here I want to mention it again, that there are a lot of solvents, and when lot, just like here, petrol, kerosene oil, and the other oils and crude oils and so many other fats and this and that. But and there is also the water. Maybe you have already noticed this. When petrol evaporate, the vapor also contain the contents of petrol, and you can smell it very easily. Even there is that is the vapor, but in vapor also you can smell and can observe that this also contain the same type of contents as we have in the petrol, in the liquid petrol, same as in chlorine or thinner or butane or benzene or toluene and so many other solvents we can count like that. But all of them, when evaporate, contain its contents with within its vapor. The only thing I would, as you know, we were talking about the solvents, the evaporation of the solvents. You know, there are a lot of solvents, as I have discussed in my previous lecture, but that was a little bit disturbance. Anyway, I will try to explain it again, that evaporation, most of the solvents, most of the solvents when evaporate, it evaporate along with its own components and contents. But this is only the water very peculiar quality, that when it evaporate, the pure water evaporate, all the contents remains below, the water remains in the water solution, but evaporates the pure water. That is a very special quality. I'm sorry. So, and that quality is maybe God has prepared especially in water, because if it would not happen, like I told you earlier, this is the water. When it evaporates, even though it is, there are a lot of impurities, but when it evaporates, in evaporation of this has pure water. Now think about this. Deeply think about this pure water when it evaporates. If it would not happen, it would happen like petrol, like other solvents. When it evaporates, all the contents also go into the vapor. If it, the salts of the sea water salt also evaporate with this water, and when it rains, there are a lot of salts also raining on the earth. Now, tell me how can we use that? Do you think without this, if there is any life on the earth, maybe may not be the life on the earth, because there is no water, there is nothing to eat, to drink. Only maybe the marine life, because marine life God has created to live into the salty water, and that is habitual, that feel very a fresh and life when it swim into the water. But the people who are living on the dry place of the earth, how how they will use this water? Nobody can make this water fresh. So this is very special quality of water by which you can say the God has provided the fresh water for the not only the human beings, all the creature living on this earth. So that's a natural natural desalination system. Now let us come to our practical system. The scientists and other professionals prepared to make fresh water from the sea. You can say sea water, desalination systems. In this desalination system, the professionals also create a lot of systems because of considering the finance and complexity of the technical uh, problems, but also to make it much easier and easier and cheaper, consuming less and less energies and getting more and more water. So there are few systems I will notify you here. Number one, since few years before that MSF MSF was the most popular system. MSF means multi-stage flash system. This MSF is multi-stage flash system. Before few years, that was, I think, the calculation of this system was on the top of the systems in the world. But now there is another system that seems to be a little bit easier, although it is a little bit expensive. That is membrane system. Or we call it RO system. RO system. This there are a lot of other systems also, but I'll explain to you later. Now let us first explain a little bit about this MSF system. MSF system is the system in which we are consuming very less energy and getting more and more water. By this system, we can get the cheapest water, and but very important thing, the initial investment is bigger, very big, because in this system mostly all stainless steel is being used for the construction of this MSF system. So that is the most expensive thing. Whole system, you cannot use any mild steel or any other steel. Even the pipes, you cannot use the steel pipes. There are the silica sand or you can the glass fiber pipes to use this on in this system, because the other system, other steel or other material, that is within few months it becomes rusted and corrodes, and there may be a lot of holes in that, so you cannot use for a long time. Although the system is very durable, very long life, I myself has seen in Russia that is 50 years old system in running position. I myself have seen. So the system wise it is a very durable and long life system, but the only thing is the first initial investment is very big, very high. But the water you are getting from this system is very cheap. You know, this is very simple system. If I'll explain to you, it's a very simple system, just like in a container. With the salty water, you are heating this. You are heating this, the water become hot and vapors coming out. Vapors coming out. And you just cool this water, you cover this with some cold surface, and this water again, this vapors again condensed with the, the fresh water. You can say this, we can say distilled water, distilled water. This is very pure water, distilled water. So this is actually the main process of this MSF system. But the lot of other things are just made to economize the system, to reduce the cost and get more and more achievement, more and more water from the little energy. When we consume little energy, even I will give you one example, that this MSF system, mostly this system is prepared when you need power and water desalination system. Desalination. Because why it is combined with power, you know, there is other reason. It's not only because just to make something power, but we have to use something from this power plant. You know, there's the turbo generator. This is the turbo generator. And the turbo generator needs high pressure steam to circulate the turbine to produce power. So if suppose you are using boilers to supply steam to this turbo generator, and when the turbo generator already producing power, the exhaust steam exhaust steam is sufficient to run this desalination. You know, now you are not only costing anything for this desalination system, because if you are not using this exhaust steam, you just waste it. Just like in our car or something, when you burn the fuel to run the car, the exhaust system, the fumes or the fuel smoke comes out and gone away. That's all. It's the same way. If you are not making use of this exhaust steam, you have just to throw it in the air. That's all. But here you are using it to run the desalination plant. You know how? It's a long story, and maybe next time I will explain to you that how we can use this exhaust steam in the desalination system, because it's a little bit bigger one. Maybe if I will explain it now, the lecture will be too long for you. Okay, thank you.